What's up, guys? John here with TBG, and today we have...
Matthew Triebes.
And Matthew, you got second place today at Locals, right?
I did, yeah.
And you're playing a new deck from Duelist Nexus, or well, enabled by Duelist Nexus.
Yeah, it was a deck before, but it's like actually real now, so.
Do you want to show us what you played?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I played Synchron, and there's not a lot of deck profiles of it online, so I thought it'd be kind of cool to just show off my build because it's pretty personalized to me. So starting off, 3 Rev, new card, broken. 2 Assault Synchron. I think 2 is good because it's not the worst to open, and yeah, both the effects are really good as extenders for your play. Very mandatory, at least at, I think, 2. And then 2 Jet, same deal. Some people play 1, some people play 3. I just think 2 is enough. And then to round out the Synchrons, 2 Stardust. Again, I've seen 1 or 3. I think 2 is perfect. Just want to have them to summon out a deck, and also, I don't know, they're all pretty good draws. A lot of different like varying lines in the stack. It's not really like a straightforward combo. And then my other like one-ofs just for my engine is Stardust Trail. This card's insane. And Mare. I'll show why I play Mare, but essentially it's your Garnet. And yeah, it helps you extend through hand traps and also draw off of Librarian like crazy. So for hand traps, I'm playing 3 Ash, 3 Nib, 2 Veiler, and 1 Droll. This ratio might change, but I'm pretty happy with hand traps, and yeah, Hyper Librarian makes hand traps way better because they're obviously just like sick draws when you've established a board.
What's the reasoning for 1 Droll?
Honestly, like Droll is not good against like everything right now. I play Small World, so it's a bridge for that. And it is pretty good against like a few rogue decks, so I'm just playing the 1 mostly because, yeah, Small World, but it's also not a half bad card.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And then just for the rest of the monsters, kind of going back to engine, 3 Tengu. It's kind of your replacement for a card coming up. Just a level 4 non-tuner, really good, and super, super resilient to hand traps. And then I play Magician Souls and Illusion. Yet another extender. Worst case, Illusion can shuffle back a drawn Tengu extra or Mare, which is kind of cool. Doesn't come up much, but yeah, I don't know. Magician Soul's good. Draw 2. Or 1. Actually, I drew 1 a lot today with it, and it was like good enough. Drew me into what I needed. And then kind of making sense of the other cards. This is what I said Tengu was a replacement for. I'm playing the adventure cards. They're just the stones. It's a bunch of free non-tuner bodies without having to really like commit a normal summon. And I don't play Illegal Knight. I just think you only need to play 1, so just pick one or the other. Basically never matters. Moving on to spells, just finishing out the adventure package. Some people play 2 Fateful. I think it's kind of novel, especially with Magician Soul, but I just don't really feel like I need it. 3 Tuning. It's just more copies of your Synchrons, which are like how you get your plays going. I might cut the Revolution down to 2. I'm not sure, but otherwise I'm really happy with my ratios. And this is better than, like, I would rather cut my Synchrons down rather than cutting Tuning because this is so versatile. And the mill helps 1 in a million games. And then, yeah, I played Small World. Basically, this deck's a bunch of 2-card combos, so like starting off with like 4 cards, if they're the correct 4 cards, then like you're better off. And there's just so many bridges in the deck. I mean, all the Synchrons kind of find each other, and you know, the Ash, the Nib, I mean, it all just works. Really, really happy with this card. I'd never cut it. And then I also play 1 Illumination, which is really good. You just search it with Stardust. You always want to try and set up a Stardust Synchro so you can summon trails from deck instead of foolishing it. I really like this card. And then you do play Foolish, just another Enchantress, essentially, but it can be a Synchron in a pinch. One called by, this deck needs its place to go off, so. And then 2 Overtake. So my only target is Jet Synchron. This is essentially Fusion Substitute. So it just summons Jet Synchron from Graver deck. And especially because I'm playing Tengu, and sometimes you're gonna open Trail with like not much else, and you really need that normal to go off and get into a level 5. This like helps. I was considering cutting it, but honestly, every time I play it, it wins me the game. So, really good card. And that's it for the main. I think it's sitting at 45. Again, stuff is subject to change, but I like the list, and it seemed to work out for me pretty well. I bricked, once or twice, but that's kind of what this deck does sometimes. And then onto extra. I play Formula. This is mostly just here because of Mare tokens. It's definitely not mandatory, so this is kind of a flex slot. Moving on into more mandatory slots. Excel Synchron. It's insane. Junk Speeder is the reason why this deck is good. Same with Librarian. Just really good generic cards. Jet Warrior, this is for the Synchro Overtake I was showing you earlier. I'd hardly ever summon it, but I think it's a mandatory slot. Starts Charge. Just, a lot of the times you need to make a 5 into a 6, into a 8 or 10 or a 7 or whatever, so really good card. Ancient Fairy. Some people play Black Rose or Shooting Riser. Riser's a tuner, and this isn't. Black Rose, you're like never gonna blow up their board, and the 7 body matters most of the time, so this is a great extender. Just like activate effect, summon Tengu, summon a level 1 tuner, level 3 tuner, whatever. It's just good. And then Excel Synchro, mandatory with the Stardust. Yeah, Excel's crazy good. It synergizes with a lot in the deck and helps you make safer plays. I play Crystal Wing, which I think is pretty mandatory. Usually you can end with this card amongst other negates, and it's just pretty backbreaking for your opponent. And then I play Omega, which is definitely mandatory in my build. Hand loop, you just rip 2 cards out of your opponent's hand with this card, Bestial Dispotter. It's insane. It's a negate. It is a Leviair on a 3500. Really good card. Pretty much always end on this, even over Baron if I can't make both. And then Crimson Dragon. Essentially, I'm usually just making either Dispotter or Baron into the other with this. I actually used this effect targeting my opponent's Baron to summon my own Dispotter from extra, and it was really, really good. So it's just a flexible card, and it's really not too hard to make. You don't need to play Calamity or anything. Card's just good on its own. And then last card is Yazi. Really good going second to break boards, but a lot of the time what you do after you speeder and start synchro climbing is you just make a Baron early. You make this, and then Baron can pop this, bring out that Mare from deck, and just kind of like draw 4 to 6 off of Hyper Librarian. So really good combo. A little bricky, but hasn't had too much issue for me. And like I said, it plays through hand traps. And then moving on to side, 3 Dark Ruler, just so good right now. There's a lot of decks like Vanadium and like this deck that just kind of make a board and like don't really set up with like too many traps. Vanadium has the counter, but regardless, it's good. Good against a lot of stuff. Duster, it's just Duster. 2 talents for, honestly, when I'm going first or second, just helps you break boards, helps you play through hand traps. I decided not to main this, and I didn't really miss it. Sometimes your opponent's just gonna like fuck up your turn, and you can't really use talents for anything productive, but it's a really good card. And then I play 2 book just like for purely and like Kashtira, really good card. Probably want to bump that to 3. Play 1 Dogoron, just it's a card I can small world for, and it's kind of the same as the other board breaker cards, just out a rise, out a noir or something like that. And then I play 3 cross out. That's another reason why I actually play the 1 droll. And I play the other hand traps as well. It's just kind of, like I said, with small world as well, you don't need a full hand to like play your board. You just need to resolve your pivotal effects. So this card's good in theory. I didn't really use it at all today, but good in theory. We'll keep testing it. And then to go with the cross out, I've got 2-dimensional barrier. Probably gonna make this into a Book of Moon, but regardless, it's a great card, especially if you brick or get stopped. It can stop a lot of decks and put you right back to, you know, having advantage, like tempo priority. And yeah, you can side one of these with the cross out if you're going second and negate that, which is cool. And then play 1 shifter also for the cross out. And yeah, all that happened with this card today was I drew it and not cross out, and it partially lost me the game, but the theory's kind of sound. It might be a little sacky, probably make it into another droll or something like that.
All right. Well, thank you for sharing your deck.
Yeah, of course.
Alright, please like and subscribe to Treasure Box Gaming.
You forgot to put
All right.
bro.